9, no, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we're doing that to ourselves. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Hello!
And we're on.
Welcome to Awesome Hardware episode 131. This is Side B.
131?
A live show that Paul and I do every single Tuesday right here at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. If you happen to be catching this half of the stream without watching the first half, you should go check that out because it was a really good half. You can find that on Paul's channel. That's youtube.com/Paul's Hardware. Or you can find a link in the description below of my video. If you're watching here on YouTube, if you're watching on twitch.tv, just stay where you are and welcome back. This is a fun tech news show. We like to talk about lots of different things and have a couple drinks. Cheers to all of you who are joining us today with your own drinks. If you're of legal drinking age. Also, it's an adult show, more or less, so we tend to swear on occasion, and, sorry, fuck. So just, you know, if you have little ones in the room, shoo them off and stuff, and all will be gravy. Your wife won't get mad at you or anything. Also, we have an announcement that, I don't know, did we even plug this on your half of the show?
Nope, we totally forgot.
We totally forgot, so let's plug it on my half, which is on December 9th. Mark your freaking calendars!
It's about a week and a half.
December 9th. Of 2017, Paul and I will be doing a charity live stream. We're going to be streaming for 12 hours on Saturday. That means you get to see Paul and I game together live for the first time in, I don't know, since the last time we did a freaking after party. It's been a long time since we actually gamed, like sat down and gamed for like any period of time.
I need to set up.
It's very fun.
I need to do some setup. My streaming system yesterday just like ate shit. Like.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah, like
what hardware's in that one?
It really ruined. It was my godly streaming build.
Really?
I still haven't done troubleshooting.
No
but
shit.
It was, yeah. Video out wasn't working, so I'm not sure if like suddenly the graphics card has died or if it's anything beyond that. I have to sort of.
Well, maybe I'll BYOB on this one. Maybe I'll bring my own system over.
BYOC?
Or bring your own build.
Build. Oh yeah, I guess that works too. I wasn't thinking of that.
And beer, why not?
Well, I should be able to have that covered, but I'll let you know within the next day or two.
Okay, cool.
How that is proceeding, but we are gonna have two. Do you have your system ready yet? You got it in the works.
It's in the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have two epic systems that will be not given away, but it's a charity live stream. So for donations, a donation will enter you to win. Wanted to give away two systems, so it'll be awesome.
Full-blown gaming systems, so this should be very exciting. Yeah. Be sure to mark your calendars, guys, December 9th. It'll probably start in the morning at some point because it is a 12-hour stream. We don't know the exact time yet, but it will be streamed, I would guess, to Awesome Hardware.
So, again, still need to do a little bit of testing, but what I'm hoping I can have set up is that Awesome Hardware will stream just a wide shot of everything. Of like both of us playing, and then we'll
have our independent
also stream
channels
to each of our channels.
Yeah, and you guys can multi-twitch in and kind of watch the whole scene. That'd be really fun.
Figure that out. I have to do a bandwidth check as well.
Yeah, we'll do some testing on our end. But so stay tuned for that. Should be very fun. That's pretty much the only announcement we have. Other than that, we're still selling stuff on our stores. Oh yeah. Guys, go ahead and pick up something from Paul's store, or my store.
Cal's store.
We'll do my store, bitwit.tech/store. Thank you very much to our friend and moderator, Cell Processing in chat for plugging this as well. We've got tons of stuff here. The RGB Everything shirts. We've got jackets, hoodies.
Quite a few items on sale.
Fidget spinners, crystal RGB, hats, other shirts with designs on them, mugs and glasses. I'm very bad at selling my products. But then Paul's also got stuff, including, if you go to paulshardware.net, you can buy one of his new keycaps.
Look at that.
He's got a keycap with a thumbscrew logo on it. Very sexy.
Only the best.
I'm digging it. So go ahead and pick one of those up, and a bunch of other stuff that he's got there. The bottle openers that we've been using all day today.
Oh yeah.
Very, very high quality.
Super nice.
Probably kill someone with them.
New 15-ounce mugs.
If you buy anything from either of our stores, we will yell Johnson at you at the end of this half of the episode. You'll be slightly offended and slightly violated.
Got a couple pullover hoodies on sale too.
Pullover hoodies. Go ahead and check those out, guys. Thank you. Anything that you can buy on our stores definitely helps us out in building the channel up and stuff like that. But let's move on to some tech news, starting with a lighter topic here, the subject of Black Friday and Thanksgiving and how that all went down in terms of sales, online sales, just hitting record highs this year. This is an article from Reuters.
Did you buy stuff?
We will get to that. But this is an article from Reuters. They're tracking all this shit, and they're saying that U.S. retailers pretty much saw some record sales online for Black Friday and Thanksgiving. This is not, we'll get to Cyber Monday later, but this is just talking about Black Friday and Thanksgiving, guys. $7.9 billion in online sales.
Billion!
That's up an insane 17.9%, almost 18% from just a year ago. This is according to Adobe Analytics, which measures transactions at the largest 100 U.S. web retailers.
So is this cutting into the brick and mortar sales?
No, this is just online. $8 billion in online. This doesn't even include brick and mortar, which is insane.
What I'm saying is like I feel like I've picked up on a trend in the past couple years of people who are like, I've hated Black Friday like brick and mortar shopping for years. Like, I'm just like, why?
I don't know who doesn't.
Why would you subject yourself to that? Why would you physically go somewhere?
And pushed around.
Yeah, like all the people, and they have to talk, just to look at people, socialize.
That's stupid.
So yeah, sit at home and shop. Like, it's been like, it makes so much more sense to me. And wider variety and online shopping and all that kind of stuff. So like, my question is like, with first off, people kind of getting more disillusioned with the in-person Black Friday sales, and then second, with sort of the dilution of Black Friday, like it's Black November now, and the sales start like 2 or 3 weeks earlier, so there's more people who are like
go like a full week after, or whatever. Yeah,
spreading out their purchases or whatever. So I'm wondering if this big boom in online sales, what kind of impact that might like if you're looking at just brick and mortar sales, like are those the same? Are they up a little bit?
I would have to imagine as online shopping increases, those are fewer people who are at the brick and mortar stores, right? I would have to imagine that there's an inverse correlation between online sales and brick and mortar sales.
Inversely proportional.
Yes, inversely proportional. Very, very well said, Paul. Yep. So, I mean, even, and this is interesting too, this just goes to show just how like tech savvy, I guess we're becoming, or not tech savvy, or just tech reliant. Commerce marketing firm Criteo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Criteo. No, you got it.
Criteo said 40% of Black Friday purchases were made not just on desktop computers, but on mobile phones. That's up 29% from last year.
Phones.
It's crazy. Like, as soon as I think like, okay, we're all pretty much now enveloped in the whole smartphone, you know, phenomenon or whatever, and we've all sort of acclimated to just using our smartphones for everything. Then some shit like this comes out. I'm like, holy crap! Like, up 29% from last year. That's huge. More and more people are using their phones for not just regular shopping, but just for like huge, you know, Black Friday shopping and things like that.
I didn't find myself like checking out on my phone much, but I was like,
neither did I.
I'd like be there, like I kept hitting Slick Deals, like damn it, Slick Deals. But like I kept being like, maybe there's something on Slick Deals that I should buy right now because it's a really good deal. So I pull it up on my phone and browse through it.
Right.
And there were 2 or 3 things that I found on my phone, but like I don't have my logins. Like I don't have like my stuff plugged in there. I might have Amazon done, but man. So then I would take that and then I just go to my computer where the logins are set up and actually.
My thing is like, well, I have the computer. I can navigate the computer faster. I can navigate on a computer faster with the mouse and keyboard, type in searches and stuff like that with the mouse, and also I just feel like I get so paranoid. Like if there's something, what if there's something really good that I want and there's only 5 left? Like, I'm going to lose out on that if I'm using my phone because it's 10 times slower.
I think, but I don't know how much...
We also have awesome kick-ass desktops, which most people don't have. Most people don't even have a desktop these days. They're lucky if they have a laptop. Most people just use their phones for everything. And maybe a tablet as an extension. Who even has a freaking laptop anymore? Unless you're in school or something. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
No one has laptops?
No, I think most people probably don't even have a laptop.
I think most people don't even have computers anymore.
Which is crazy. Oh yeah, well, unless you're like talking about a smartphone computer. But yes, no, I agree with you. All the computers now are SoCs. But it's kind of interesting because the biggest deals for Black Friday this year were from TVs, laptops, toys, and gaming consoles. Three of those things are electronics. So I would imagine that at some point Cyber Monday is going to overshadow Black Friday, just because as more and more people buy online, I feel like electronics are the thing that we gravitate towards most. And here's some information on Cyber Monday, which also saw some record sales at $6.59 billion, slightly under what Black Friday was able to pull, but I would imagine that the Cyber Monday and Black Friday gap is closing a lot year over year, to the point where I think Cyber Monday is going to take over, personally, because I think people are just getting lazier, and not just lazier, but smarter, and saying, like, why don't I just buy all my shit online? The people who will figure that out the fastest are people who are typically more tech savvy than the norm, than most people, and who are going to be interested in technology based products anyway. So
this is, you can't view image.
This is also, yeah, it's super annoying. This is also a new record for mobile phones on Black Friday, or I'm sorry, Cyber Monday, reaching $2 billion. Adobe Analytics found that 75%, this is kind of depressing, found that 75% of millennials were more likely to shop on their smartphones than on their computers.
Millennials?
That's like my generation.
That's why I don't trust millennials.
Which is sad, because I would never imagine that shopping on my smartphone is more convenient than my desktop. Hell no. But it just goes to show, like, just where the trend's going. Like, PCs are getting phased out. Computers in general, laptops and stuff, getting phased out for smaller, more convenient, more carry-on-you 24/7 screens and devices. The top-selling items here included Google Chromecasts, Roku devices, Apple iPads, Samsung tablets, Apple AirPods, and Sony PlayStation VR headset core systems. Did you know that Sony actually sold more VR headsets than any other outlets, like Vive, HTC Vive, or Oculus Rift?
You mean like overall now?
Just for Black Friday, just for the holidays. Friday, okay. Yeah, just for like the last week or so. Which makes sense, because if you've already got a PlayStation, if you have a crazy deal on a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro, might as well get the HMD, because you've already got the system to drive it, right? As opposed to, like, okay, yeah, you cut the pricing for the Oculus Rift in half. Great. I still need $1,000 plus system to run that. To drive it effectively. So, makes sense. PlayStation VR has been crushing it. The best-selling video game, Super Mario Odyssey. I gotta play that. I gotta at least try it. Yeah. Everyone's been raving about it. I'm like, okay, because I was a huge fan of Super Mario 64 back on the N64.
But you can't stream it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you can if you want Nintendo to claim all your monies.
I mean, I don't make money from streaming anyway, so I mean,
I don't either, but
it's
a principle thing.
It's a principle.
It's the principle.
No, I agree. Many struggles here with the Nintendo streaming. That's the topic for another video, and then we've also got the Xbox One X was the Xbox One X and then Nintendo Switch, of course, were the most popular consoles sold over Cyber Monday. Just as a sobering fact here, if you think that is a lot of money being spent here in America, with almost $8 billion on Black Friday, another $7 billion for Cyber Monday. Alibaba's Singles Day, which is a really weird name. That's actually a predominantly Chinese holiday that was invented by the e-tailer Alibaba, which I think is on November 11th. That day raked in $25.3 billion this month, which is bigger than our United States Black Friday and Cyber Monday combined. So, yeah, we're poor people.
You have to consider also that there's a lot more people in China.
Well, yeah, of course. But I mean, still.
But you're right.
But still,
that's a lot more money.
It's insane. It's a lot. It's a lot more. So, all right. So, what did you get for Black Friday or Cyber Monday? What did you buy? Did you buy anything?
Yeah, I bought several things.
I know about some stuff. What did you buy? Tell me. Tell us all. Share with the class.
I bought the 43-inch Dell 4K monitor. Because it was on an Amazon Lightning deal for $650.
What's it usually go for? Probably $1,000.
800 is the cheapest it's ever been.
Yeah.
But typically, I think 900. So yeah, and it's a 43-inch 4K monitor, and I was like, oh, it's so big and it's 4K. And then Wendell and Level 1 Techs, Wendell and Ryan did a review of it, so I went and watched that, and they were very complimentary of it and all that kind of thing. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it, because right now on my main editing system I have a 4K monitor and a 2560 by 1600.
Oh, yeah.
I complained about this I think before. It resizes the windows all the time.
Yeah, right.
That, and I want two 4K side by side. I think it'd be a better option.
It is super nice, yeah.
So yeah, but it's so huge. I finally I ordered it, and then like the day later, like went and actually measured with the thing. Like, all right, well, how big is 43 inches going to be? There's no way I'm fitting two monitors side by side.
Unless
It's
you
just
have like
it's way
three
too big.
of these desks side by side.
There's no way at all. So basically,
And you have to be like 5 feet away.
yeah. So I'm giving
really
it.
not
I'm
hurt
giving
your
it to
eyes.
my wife. So she's gonna use that monitor,
All right.
and as a
Just one?
as a
Just
single
display? All
and
right.
we'll see how that works, and if she can get herself far enough back from it and everything.
Yeah.
And then I went and ordered a different 4K monitor,
Oh.
which is much more reasonably priced. It's an LG
30 inch?
32 inch, because I
32
wanted
inch.
the exact same size and resolution that I already have.
As your
I was gonna get another. I have an Asus.
Asus, yeah.
PA 328 32 whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we have in the other room, maybe.
So I was gonna get another one of those, but they're like 900, 950-ish.
Yeah.
And the refurbs that were on offer, I got my refurb one for 700.
PA328Q.
I believe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah,
Those are really nice.
927. It's a
I'm
really
looking at
nice
those
monitor,
too.
but I was like, man, I feel bad paying more now for another refurb than I did back when I first got this refurb on Black Friday. So I started looking at other options. LG has a 32-inch. It's not true 10-bit. It's 8-bit plus some dithering or something in there that gives it the 1.07 billion colors. But it was 370. 370 for a 32-inch 4K.
That's awesome.
LG monitor with very, very positive customer feedback and everything like that.
That's really
so
good, yeah.
that was at B&H that I got that. Everywhere else it was
Nice.
400 or more.
Oh, yeah, I didn't check B&H at all.
Yeah.
That would have been a good source.
Yeah, I was all set to like buy it for 400, and then I was like, maybe I should check around, and B&H had it for 370. So yeah, free shipping.
Beautiful.
It was nice.
So those are the two main things you got?
I mean, I could go on. I'm gonna do a haul video and unbox it all because
nice.
I gotta wait a few more days. I got a UPS again.
Uh-huh.
Black Friday is really good time to get a UPS.
Are they super dirt
I
cheap?
feel like usually like a mid-range one is about 100 to 120, and usually you can find them for 70, 80.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty
And
good.
then the higher end ones are usually 180 to 200.
You get 'em for
So
like
the one I got
100.
it was like 110 or something like that.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, it was very nice discount on that.
Nice.
So I wanted a UPS for the garage. I have one for the computer room, but I want one out in the garage too. Yeah.
Very, very, very awesome. Very well. Congrats. Congrats. It sounds like you had some good stuff.
I got a.
Freaking, I don't know. There's some construction going, or there's a new tenant somewhere in the building that's like either directly above us or to the left, and they're making lots of noise. It's very distracting. Sorry if you guys are hearing that.
I got an RX 100 Mark V.
You got an RX 100? Yeah, hey, that's a great camera. I love mine.
I know.
It's literally the best. The only problem with it is that it overheats at 4K.
You
If
got
you're
the
shooting
Mark-
4K.
You got the Mark V?
Isn't that just that's early? Like when did that come out?
The RX 100.
Unless that was
there's
just-
been like there's a Mark II, Mark III, Mark IV, and Mark V. Mark V is within the past
6 months or so.
6 months or a year, I think.
Yeah, I have a Mark V because I'm
Okay.
2 generations after my Mark III. Yes.
Oh yeah, because you had the Mark III. All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a great camera, but it overheats at 4K.
Mainly
which sucks.
mainly for vlogging and stuff. And,
Yeah.
and short
Oh,
periods. So yeah,
dude, you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
It's amazing. The
My,
flip-up
my
screen
LX
and
100
stuff.
I've had for 3 years now, and it's starting to show some wear and tear.
Yeah. Plus, the
Yeah.
autofocus on that is way better. That's the only reason why I upgraded from the Mark IIIs, because the autofocus was the bane. It sucked.
Oh yeah.
It was seeking constantly, and it was really bad for vlogging, turned out. But the Mark V fixed all that, and it's super quick and just seamless. You're going to love it. All right, so let's move on to our next article here, which is about HDMI 2.1. This is a new specification that supports a lot of good stuff, which we'll be talking about shortly. Videocards.com, thank you for the article.
This is Tech Report.
Oh, Tech Report. I don't know. I don't know why I have videocards.com here. It was a typo. Sorry. Videocards.com. Thank you, Tech
link
Report.
is clearly Tech Report.
Yeah. No, I have no idea how that got switched around. Must have been messing with links. All right. So basically the long and short here is that what do we care about? We care about what this supports, what kind of resolutions, what kind of refresh rates are we going to be able to score away with this new standard. So first off, we've got a bandwidth increase of 48 gigabits per second. This is going to require a new HDMI cable. So if you have an existing HDMI cable for your HDMI shitty 2.0 version, it's not going to work. You're going to need an ultra high-speed HDMI cable. But with that cable, you will be able to achieve resolutions of 8K at 60 hertz or 4K at 120 hertz. We're going to be seeing some gaming monitors featuring those specs pretty soon, or a resolution of up to 10K, holy crap, for commercial, AV, and industrial specialty usages, which is probably more niche. There's also going to be support for dynamic HDR for additional depth, detail, brightness, color gamut, and that sort of thing. We're also going to be seeing exceptionally low EMI, or electromagnetic interference, with this super speed HDMI cable. And that's basically going to help us sort of reduce the nearby wireless device interference to just create a cleaner signal. Backwards compatibility, I think this is in regards to the actual cable, the sort of cable that's now required. You could use that cable to connect, HDMI 2.0 and older devices.
So it's the same physical plug.
Same physical plug, same, yeah, exactly, same sort of shape and stuff. And there's a number of refresh rate features for seamless motion and smoother playback, which you guys can read about on the article. The
Variable
HDMI
refresh rate.
Yes, yeah, lots of refresh rate features, and there's also the HDMI 2.1 compliance test specification that'll be published in stages during Q1 through Q3 of next year. Apparently, the way that you get access to HDMI 2.1 for now, if you guys read the FAQ or the FAQ, I think you have to be like an HDMI 2.0 adopter, and you need to like sign up from, like, I don't know, from a site or something like that. It's not exactly clear, although, wait, there was another article, like, what happened to there was a video cards article that I had. Video cards, HDMI 2.1. Yeah, it was right here. And they had a FAQ. They had a really useful FAQ on it, actually, whoever wrote the article. Okay, general facts, here we go. How do you actually license HDMI 2.1? And that spec. In order to license it, you actually need to first become an HDMI adopter, and then sign an addendum to the HDMI adopter agreement, which provides you the license for the HDMI 2.1 specification. At that point, you should be able to download the HDMI 2.1 spec off of the HDMI adopter extranet.
Extranet?
Extranet. For extra notification. Guys, read the article. I think the one from videocards.com, I honestly have no idea how Tech Report got thrown in there.
The extranet is a backup of the internet.
Yes, it's what we'll all be using once net neutrality dies.
Because it's like, oh crap, the internet, like, it got corrupted, and it was like, don't worry, we've got an extranet.
We've got an extranet. It's not inner, but it is extra. So fun. That I don't know. I think that was the biggest limitation of 4K gaming. Honestly, was that you're still bottlenecked by 60 hertz. I feel like I personally have been spoiled by hyper 60 hertz panels. Gaming on the X34 Predator and stuff. I feel like 100 hertz is like now. Like I can see the difference. I can feel the difference between 60 and 100 hertz. And if you really want 4K, I don't think 60 hertz is going to cut it. It's like, yeah, you're pushing the boundaries of how many pixels you're pushing, but at the same time, you're totally sacrificing the smoothness of the overall experience. So this is sort of the best of both worlds, and you know, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll save the rest for later. But exciting, HDMI 2.0 is upon us.
Don't want you pushing the boundaries of too many pixels, Kyle.
Of course not.
Okay.
It would be pixel harassment. HP Many of you guys have probably already heard about this. HP has stealthily installed a new spyware called HP Touchpoint Analytics Client. This is from computerworld.com.
Sounds benign.
Oh, totally. No, as all spyware would have you believe, Paul. HP is installing a telemetry client on its customers' computers with zero notification or request of user permission.
Oh, cool. So it's like Superfish all over again, basically.
Basically, yeah. This is going by the name of HP Touchpoint Analytics Service, and HP is saying that it harvests telemetry information that's used by their Touchpoint's analytical services. There have been reports of this infection dating back to November 15th of this year, just a couple weeks ago, where one user, MML user on bleepingcomputer.com, stated that he noticed the software had been installed immediately after his after this month's Windows updates rolled out. So, holy crap!
Windows is involved.
Is Microsoft a proponent of this? It's unclear. It's unclear if the software came bundled with the official Windows cumulative updates and or monthly roll-ups, and or the security-only updates.
We don't really know. Roll-up?
Like a fruit roll-up? Those are delicious. Or if it's being downloaded by HP's own support assistant routines. Either way, HP customers are pissed, and rightfully so.
It should be.
There's been no official word as far like the time of reading this article. There's been no official word from HP. Their official HP Touchpoint Manager website says, and I quote, "The HP Touchpoint Manager technology is now being delivered as a part of HP Device as a Service, or DAAS, analytics, and proactive management capabilities. Therefore, HP is discontinuing the self-managed HP Touchpoint Manager solution." And the article didn't really say anything about this, but to me it sounds like these little keywords that I'm pointing out here. We're discontinuing the self-managed portion, and we're now delivering the proactive management. It sounds like they're saying, we're just installing this on your computer ourselves, without your knowledge or permission.
HP wants to touch your point.
And it's spyware, so it's basically accessing and sending out or transmitting data. It's accessing data from your drive, from your hard drive, from your SSD, and it's putting it somewhere else it doesn't belong. It's no longer local, which is scary and stupid and evil. Martin Brinkman on G-Hacks has a thorough accounting of the spyware and how exactly to remove it step by step. Thank you very much, Martin, for providing this for any user who's been affected by this awful, awful software. So guys, go ahead and check that out if you happen to have an HP device or have noticed that this suspicious software has been installed, because it is indeed spyware. It was even actually popping up on people's like Kaspersky and other antivirus softwares as like, hey, this is a red flag, this is not good. And of course, HP is writing it off as like, hey, this is to help protect and serve you as a user. We love you.
We want to give you better ads. Don't you want better ads? We want the best ads that are tailored for you, because that's what people want.
Get your ad on.
I don't hate ads and find them annoying. I just want good ads. They're ads for me.
Check out this amazing ad.
Yeah, it's kind of BS.
Yeah. So, cool.
I hope I mean, it sucks because like I said, Superfish. Like Superfish, Lenovo did this. They freaking did it again after it was discovered. Like, I used to recommend Lenovo all the time to people until Superfish, and that pretty much killed it. Like, don't take advantage of your customers. Don't try to do stupid nonsense to harvest data without asking them or whatever.
And the shitty thing is that HP, and like exactly the same thing. Like, now it's like, God, you feel conflicted because Lenovo does make some pretty bomb-ass products, but then you feel like you shouldn't recommend them because they pull shady shit like this. Same with HP. HP has some really good products, even now. For example, our next article is about their HP Envy X360 15 notebook, which is one of the first ever to feature the mobile Ryzen quad-core chip, the the Ryzen 5 2500U, and the integrated GPU, which is the RX Vega 8. It's an HP laptop, and it performs great according to this article that we're about to talk about. But like I said, when HP or big companies like this pull shady shit, it makes it really hard for influencers or reviewers or whatever the fuck you want to call us to recommend their products. So it's we're kind of ambivalent here. But anyway, let's talk about the hardware. The Ryzen 5 2500U is one of the first Ryzen mobile chips on the market that you can purchase. And it's got some ballin' integrated graphics. The Cinebench R15 scores for this 2500U were basically identical to Intel's mobile Core i5 8250U in both single and multi-threaded performance. To be fair, the single-threaded marks for the Intel chip were about 6% higher than Ryzen, but still very neck and neck. Okay, cool. It competes with Intel. It's pretty much the same. Cool. Equal. Great. But in the 3D Mark 11's test, 11's, I don't know why I said 11's. In the 3D Mark 11 test, the Ryzen 5 2500U performed 91% better than the Core i5 8250U's Intel UHD graphics, because, it still sucks. All the Intel HD graphics still pretty much suck.
Am I blind here? Where
this was? So if you look at the 8250U,
there it is. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. And if it's cool, because I want to do this. If you highlight that, it tells you what the percentage is, the percentile of how much better another CPU or system is.
Yeah.
So holy crap, 91% better than the i5 8250U. And its UHD graphics, and this was in the combined test. But when you switch over to just the GPU-bound test, the Ryzen 5 performed 118% better than the equivalent Intel chip, which is pretty awesome. The 2500U also significantly had more performance per watt, which was... I should mention that this is also from notebookcheck.net. Sorry, notebookcheck.net. Kind of a mouthful. But they also found that some really good performance per watt for this Ryzen 5 mobile chip. It was far less demanding than the i7 7500U, but with roughly a 50% boost in multi-threaded CPU performance and 20% boost in GPU performance. That's actually pretty good. Performance per watt was even more impressive when compared to AMD's own RX 460. I believe that. And if you wanted to compare this integrated graphics chip to discrete GPUs that are currently on the market, the Ryzen 5 2500U falls pretty much midway between the Maxwell GeForce 940MX and the Pascal GeForce MX150, which, granted, they're pretty low end. Like, they're pretty much as low end as it gets when it comes to graphics cards. They are below like the GTX 1050 and 1050 Ti, obviously, but they're still discrete GPUs. They still have like heat sinks on them with like full PCBs. They're separate entities. The fact that AMD's been able to integrate this type of performance into a APU, I would call it, is pretty impressive. And also the fact that the 2500U is a Ryzen 5 chip. We still have not caught wind of a Ryzen 7 mobile chip that will, what I would assume, have even better integrated graphics built in. So, very exciting. This basically puts Intel in a situation where they finally have some competition in the mobile market, where they honestly, it's been so long. Like, we had Ultrabooks, those were a disaster. We're like, they're so expensive, and they're not very good. But there's nowhere else to go if you want a really slim laptop that does things other than like a MacBook Air or some shit. So yay. Yay Ryzen, yay AMD.
Just to clarify, there is a Asus laptop, the ROG Strix GL702ZC, which has a Ryzen 7 1700 and an RX 580 in it.
Oh, it's got a 1700.
But that's not the APU. It's
okay, yes.
It's a separate CPU.
Sorry, a Ryzen 7 APU. Yeah. Then, yes. I misspoke.
I mean, it's a detail, but when it comes to APUs,
right,
for sure. But just when you said that,
Ryzen APUs.
I was like, wait, I remember a 1700 based laptop at Computex.
No, yeah, I remember you talking about it recently too. I thought you did.
And notebookcheck.net has an article on that too.
Yeah. No, I completely misspoke. I specifically meant Ryzen APUs, of course.
Nice.
But yes, that's super exciting. The fact that you, I mean, and obviously, I would imagine that you would even have better thermals on an APU. Would you? Than having a discrete GPU. I mean, I guess it depends.
Yeah.
I guess it depends. But I believe the folks over at notebookcheck.net did not find any thermal throttling of any kind. I feel like, or I remember they said in the article that they ran the Cinebench score, or the Cinebench test twice. The first time, it was, you know, obviously spit out a number. Second time, right after, it had like a 3% lower score because, you know, at that point the CPU had heated up a little bit, and maybe there's a little bit of throttling there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they also tested an Intel equivalent. I forget the SKU, it escapes my memory right now, but it actually dropped like 30%, like over 30% in that test on the second run, just because it got so hot that whatever cooling solution was in the laptop just couldn't handle it. So the fact that we're dealing with power efficiency on a mobile scale, on a mobile level, is huge. I mean, it's even more significant, I think, than in a desktop environment. So really good, you know, sort of a generational leap for AMD on this one, and definitely more competition for all of us. So yay! Let's move on to the next article here. Actually, we've got one from EK Waterblocks. They made an announcement recently of their MLC. It's not multi-level cell. Just don't get it twisted. Their MLC, or modular liquid cooler. Their Phoenix. The MLC Phoenix. It's a modular liquid cooling line of products. This is an article from Tom's Hardware.
Tom's Hardware, why can't I get rid of your garbage top? All right, whatever.
This is a new kit on the block. See what I did there? This is replacing the EK XLC Predator series, which I was very fond of. I did like the Predator series very much. That was a refreshing change to the somewhat repeated and bland.
I was only
AIO market.
I was only so on the Predator.
I mean, I thought they were super expensive, but I did like the way they performed and looked and stuff.
Yours probably didn't spontaneously decide to leak while in storage.
I just did not have any experience with that.
I
agree. That would definitely made my opinion a bit more salty. But the new Phoenix system is going to be improving the brand's modular AIO concept, which they've already sort of familiarized us with. It's going to have improved flexibility, however, and easier configurability over their older Predator series of AIOs. Now, the Phoenix kits, the way that they work is that, well, first off, you guys are pretty familiar with how the Predator was, right? It was basically just a self-contained AIO.
Yeah, so you had a pretty nice
radiator
unit
system
on the end here that had the pump,
right,
and the block in it, which is all attached. Oh, I'm sorry, the pump block is a separate unit down here, of course, all attached to the radiator. So it was all fairly self-contained. And there was some compatibility issues depending on the case that you used it in, because if you looked at, say, the 240 model or the 360 model, a case that was compatible with a 240 or 360 Red might not have been compatible with this, just due to the extra bulk on the end.
Right.
But if you did have compatibility, it was a very nice all contained unit.
Yeah, and it performed pretty close to like what you would get out of like an actual custom liquid cooling loop.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Literally. But at the same time, we've also got, so basically the way that the Predator series was, the Predator AIOs was just kind of like an AIO, but just with, you know, using EK products. But this is completely different. This is a fully modular system. So everything in the Phoenix kit or the Phoenix system is going to be sold individually. So you're going to buy the radiator module. I'm going to call it a radiator module because it's not really just the radiator, is it? It's a radiator, and that kind of remains unchanged from the Predator series. They're still going to have the radiator with the integrated pump attached to it, and the little PCB where you connect the PWM fans and things like that, PWM control. It's all going to be integrated into the radiator. So you've got the radiator module sold separately. That's independently sold. Then you get the water blocks for your CPU. Those are sold separately. Water blocks for your GPU. Those are sold separately. And then all of these elements are pre-filled and terminated by the quick disconnects that you see here.
So if you bought just the radiator and pump unit, you'd get this part here and the tubing coming out of it.
Correct.
And just quick disconnects that were disconnected.
Correct.
And then you buy...
Correct.
Okay.
And at that point, so you can decide, instead of just buying a Predator AIO that's just, you know, it's okay, you get a cooler for your CPU, you could buy the radiator, and there's various sizes, 120, 240, 360, 140, or 280. You could buy the radiator module, and then let's say you only wanted to cool your GPU. Then you just buy a GPU block. And then they have a pretty wide variety of blocks available at launch. Including the GTX 1070 and 1080 Founders Editions, NVIDIA Titan, a number of add-in board partner cards, as well as AMD RX Vega 56 and 64. So you can pretty much just pick out whatever parts of the loop you want, and you can add pretty much as many blocks as you want to your loop. You could add 2 GPUs, 2 GPU blocks, and a CPU block, plus a couple radiators if you wanted to. You could pretty much build like the Enthoo Elite build that I'm putting together with this modular system. You just kind of pick and choose whatever the hell you want. So whether or not this is going to catch on, though, is another thing. They kind of haven't really gone mainstream with the whole idea of modular custom liquid cooling or water cooling. But I guess this is their attempt at trying to make that more... you know, more widely available.
Epic in chat was asking, first off, do they have Vega 64 blocks for these?
Yep.
I know EK has Vega 64 blocks. I'm not sure if they're going to sell them in this trim, but I would expect that they would, because
yeah,
I
mentioned
the
that.
Blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, you already said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're
sorry
going to have RX
about
Vega
that.
56 and 64 blocks.
I was asking, can you add another module to the loop, like another radiator, so if you wanted a top 360 and whatever? And the answer would be yes as well.
Yes.
Having 2 pumps in a loop isn't typically a problem.
Right. Yeah,
cool.
and this would eliminate any need. The cool thing is that this eliminates the need for a dedicated pump because it's already built into the radiator.
I think for EK, this eliminates the fact of them selling kits that are specifically designed for a specific configuration, and they have to make a bunch of those kits in order to actually populate,
like
and
whole
sell them.
Variety, yeah.
Whereas the number of people looking for that specific configuration is probably more limited.
Yeah.
Here, separating the parts out, they can sell them individually. They're all intercompatible because the intercompatibility is just the quick disconnects.
Right.
And then buy whatever block you need, buy whatever GPU block
and
you need.
here's my theory on why this isn't going to catch on mainstream-wise, is because people who are looking to fully deck out their systems with custom liquid cooling aren't, for the most part, trying to just get really, really low temperatures. They're trying to like make their system look badass as hell, and they're trying to diversify, and they're doing it for the experience and for the aesthetics, in my opinion, when they're creating a custom loop. And I feel like this takes all of that out of the equation. It's going to look like any other system. There's nothing unique or fancy or pretty about this. In fact, it kind of looks weird with the QDCs. And no one's going to spend $400 on this the way it's looking, with zero customization or unique factor, or style points. It's all about style points. I mean, look at RGB. RGB sells, and everyone's doing it because it's selling. Talk shit on it as much as you want. People want it to look good. And at the rates that EK is charging, $170 for just the radiator, $72 for the CPU water block, and $149 for the GPU block. And that's where all these prices are starting, folks. It's going to go up from there. No, people who really just want to like cool their CPU, they're just going to buy an AIO. They're just going to buy something that's, you know, $100, $120, and set it and forget it type of thing. This is my personal opinion. Who knows? I would love EK to prove me wrong, and for this to just become like 90% of people just have this in their rig. But I don't know.
So I think you might be right. I think the counter to that would be if you look at how popular all-in-one liquid coolers are, and if you combine that with the fact that a lot of people are interested in doing stuff like custom loops, but there's a lot of intimidation factor when it comes to actually doing stuff like connecting up tubing and filling a loop and everything like that. If you can take the all-in-one elements where everything's contained and you don't have to worry about liquid other than just connecting up some disconnects, and you have the efficiency of liquid cooling, which a lot of people are interested in, and potentially you might have a limitation of some of the like downsides to the cheaper all-in-ones, where there's a little bit higher instance of like pump failure and leaks and that kind of thing. Like, the EK stuff that they've made is pretty solid. All this being said, the caveat that I just pointed out that my Predator unit leaked. But
yeah.
that being said,
isolated.
I think there's an audience. There's a customer. I think there's customers who are interested in this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We don't necessarily care as much about the aesthetics. Are there enough customers for it to be a very popular thing? That's a good question. I'm sure EA. I'm sorry. I'm sure EA. I'm sure
Whoa.
EK.
Shots fired.
Yeah, EK.
Tell
sorry.
us what
that was a
way to diss him like that, Paul.
My bad. I didn't mean that.
Fighting words.
But
yes, no, I'm on board with you there. In a lot of ways, but let's move on. Best of luck to EK with whatever they do with all the new management and stuff that's going on over there. But let's move on to Pimp My PC. You guys have been sending in your stuff. All right, let's see what you got. Monts Dogs. You sent in a system that was featuring a Corsair crystal case, an Asus Prime X370 Pro, Ryzen 1600X, Corsair Vengeance 3000 MHz, 16 gigs, and an Antec 620 watt GTX 1060, 6GB model, and SSD and a hard drive. All right, Hyper 212.
Very mysterious picture.
Interesting. I'm wondering if the fan that's on your Hyper 212 is set to push or pull, because if it's set to push, you're technically going against the natural airflow of your case, I would think. You're kind of competing with the top fans.
His fans at the top.
Oh, those are also set to intake. Hopefully you have a dust filter up there. Otherwise, it can get really dirty really fast.
It's very positive.
I'm not going to knock it. Yeah, I'm not going to knock positive pressure in any way. But I just hope you.
It's your T-shirt. It says "Stay positive."
Burping so much. I just hope you have a. Yes, stay positive. I just hope you have a dust filter up there, at the very least. If you do, then it makes a lot more sense with that top fan on top of your 212. But apart from that, I'm personally a fan of vertical towers, not horizontal. That's just a personal thing.
I might rotate that. I think getting a Corsair red LED fan for your final exhaust fan here would balance things out a little bit.
Definitely.
And then, as is the case with most systems, a sleeved cable extension kit for the 24-pin, and your graphics card power would look pretty nice here and clean things up. Overall, your cable management is quite tidy.
Yeah,
it's looking pretty clean. So
it's working for me.
Yeah, just main questions are the orientation of the fans here.
And I know this is probably just me, but like the front fans, your two front intake fans, how the Corsair stickers, like one's vertical and one's horizontal.
Oh, is that bothering you?
That bothers me. It pings my OCD. Right. Most people don't care, but
fair enough.
Just something to point out. All right, but thank you very much, Monts.
Thank you, Monts.
Next up we got Jonathan. Jonathan. He's got a Core i5 4570 with a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, an MSI RX 484 gigabyte with a gigabyte board on the Z87 platform. Got a UD3H there. The UD3H, let's see, 8 gigs of HyperX Fury, 1600, and let's see. Even just a modular PSU would make this thing look so much better. Yeah. I agree. Holy crap! Yeah, that's a lot of just like a spaghetti cables right there in front of your power supply. It's like a graveyard of.
I'm seeing. All right, so if you're gonna do any upgrades to the system, adding a second stick of memory, I think would be first on your list, just to give yourself a dual channel configuration.
4 gigs, of course.
Get one more stick of memory before anything else, because that's just functionally.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Pull your yellow label off of your
damn
cable
cooler.
For your cooler. You don't need that on there. Flip your power supply. Granted, you've got a red LED fan in there, so I guess you're getting a little bit of a aesthetic view of that.
But then the blue.
But then again, you've got the case sitting on carpet, so I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed by that. Don't flip this power supply if you're going to keep it on carpet. But for God's sake, you can get your computer up off the carpet, please. It should not be there. It should be up on a desk.
Paul is triggered.
Or it should be on some sort of, just something to get it a good couple feet up off the floor. Yeah. Your cables down here, I don't know what you can do with those. You could probably push as many of them back behind in the cable management area as possible.
Word.
Yeah, do all those things and you'll have a much better case. But get your system off the floor.
I agree.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. Thank you, John.
Okay, next up we've got...
Oh, John's commenting
Joe.
about politics. Let's move on.
Joe.
Hey, Joe.
With a Core i7 5820K, an
5820.
ASRock X99 OC formula. We've got 16 gigs of DDR4 from ADATA and an Envy Pro. Great case. Corsair H100 IV2 and an MSI R9 390. He plans on repainting the red to gold once the warranty expires. Good call. And
That's funny.
It's really funny, actually.
I just...
It's so smart, though. It's really smart. That's actually the one... I didn't read the comment before I selected this for Pin My PC, and that was like the one thing I was going to say. I was like, hey, why don't you paint the shroud gold?
It's just funny he's waiting until the warranty expires.
I know, like, I mean, I guess you're playing it safe and sorry.
You're going to paint that...
And you can't return it if something goes wrong.
At month 23 of the 2-year warranty.
Right when it decides to crap out on you.
At month 23 and 3 weeks,
completely
that's
dies.
when it dies, and then you're screwed.
It's planned obsolescence. MSI knows what they're doing. Okay. Here's the deal.
It's tough to pull off gold. It's tough to pull off
But the RAM
gold.
and the motherboard match perfectly.
That's true.
So I commend you on that.
Yeah.
I would say spray paint the fan blades all gold.
Yeah.
I feel like go big or go home, man. Gold is like in your face.
They're Corsair RGB fans, though. They're SP120 RGBs.
Yeah, just make it gold color. Just perma gold it. There ain't no like fans that only do gold.
What's the point of the RGB LEDs? They're
because there are no fans that only. Have you ever seen just like a gold RGB,
I haven't.
like a gold fan?
They need to make that.
That's why RGB exists. Is because it's not RGB isn't there just so you can do colors of the rainbow 24/7. They're also there in case you were looking for a specific or sort of unique color scheme that is only achievable with the option of having 16.8 million colors.
It's difficult to tell, but are these two fans here painted gold?
I don't know.
It kind of looks like they might be. I don't know.
You're right.
It's either they're white blades that are kind of picking up some of the gold hue of the rest of the system, or maybe maybe he painted those.
I mean,
I can't.
It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like they match your cables pretty nicely. Yeah. If it's not just some weird artifact of the photo.
All right.
If that's the case, I would spray paint the other fans the same color.
Here's my main complaint here, because you've already said you're going to repaint the gold. That's fine. You're going to repaint the red to gold. That's fine. Your cable extensions are bronze.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is gold.
I agree.
That's gold.
It's not even a matter of opinion.
That's bronze. This is so. Those are two different colors.
Yeah.
So I hate to say it, but I feel like your cable extensions are not doing a service to this build.
Right.
I'd rather see all black.
Yeah.
Or something that's a lot lighter that matches with the rest of this a little bit better.
You could probably get like a nice spray paint, like a gold flake spray paint, and make it match really nicely. If you wanted to go that extra route, it would be kind of a pain because you have to remove some of the cables and spray paint them. Or you could probably just seek out a company like, Wazmods. Check out Wazmods.
Yeah.
WAZZMODS.com, I believe. He does some great extensions and cabling like that. I don't know if he has gold, but you can check him out. NSource does some really great work. Mainframe Customs. Those guys, those big guys who do sleeving, will have more options for unique color customization. Potentially look into gold sleeving options, because I think that's really a huge area where we're lacking here. Also, take off that sticker off of that freaking I/O. Your rear I/O. What is that? Cloud? ASRock Cloud. ASRock Cloud sticker. Or you can just model the Newegg TV Golden build that Paul and I did back in 2012. That was 6 years ago. Look at this. This is us 6 years ago.
5 years, Kyle.
5. I can't count.
It's close enough. This is a classic video.
It's about to be 6
It's a Z77 motherboard. We custom painted the GTX 680. This is 680, right?
670.
No, 670, I'm sorry.
670.
Custom painted that.
Yeah. Wow, look how plain that GPU looks. 3770K.
3770K.
Which, yeah, sure, looks great.
Still a solid SSD.
Oh yeah.
Neutron 3240.
Of course.
Gigs.
All the first original SSD. Look at my. Dude, that was the thing about this video. Every shot.
Beginning is just wearing a T-shirt, right?
And then as the video progresses, I sneakily add more and more bling.
Now he's got a gold ring on.
It's like, wait, he didn't have that in the last shot.
Yeah.
What is he gonna have? And then
it's like, oh, now he's got the gold chain.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, that Corsair case though, that 600T was baller.
Oh, the 600T custom painted.
It was so nice. That was a really
Very
good paint
nice.
job from the guys that Corsair used.
So if you want to go gold, I'm just saying.
And that shit ECS motherboard.
You've got a high standard. So now Kyle has added the shirt. This is really the gold standard for gold builds.
I love how it's
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
I love how it
Neutron.
starts with just a crop in, like it's super
yeah,
zoomed in,
yeah.
and you're like, wait, is he really wearing? Like,
What's going on there? Getting that CPU installed there.
Production
Oh,
value.
this is so much fun.
Guys, yeah, those
Back
are the
in
good
the
old
day.
days.
He's
I
got
got
the
the
hat.
hat now. I got the hat now. like almost like just or like three. How many hands does it take to screw in a CPU cooler?
And then
Look how young you look.
I look young.
I don't know. You look the same, but you look younger.
I was growing my beard out there. You can tell.
Yeah, might be it.
Wait, where's Kyle?
I come out
Kyle?
I come out at some point. Oh, here. Now I got the coat. I got the pimp fur coat, and I actually have a new necklace that says pimp on it. I just throw you some zip ties and I walk away and go back to pimping. Pimpin' needs attended to. That was a really nice paint job. Now I got the chalice. Now I got the chalice
got
and
the
like
chalice
a golden
and the
something hanging from my finger.
And you've apparently been smoking crack or something.
Yeah,
'cause he's got
the glasses.
He's got the
Yeah.
twitchy.
Oh my god.
Let's just watch this video.
$250,000 views. It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
Only 76 dislikes. Come on, look at the like.
You realize now. Fake money in the chalice.
This piece.
What do I say? I said
the PC's so pimp, even I owe it money. Money. There's Hudson.
Oh boy.
Right. Wait, what was
Some
the
things never change.
Jay's 2 cents thumbnail? Oh, I'm a bit of a case whore.
No shit, Jay.
Yeah, no shit at all.
Keep it to yourself, Jay.
Anyway.
Gosh. I love you, Jay.
All right, classic golden build.
Classic golden build.
Bit of a sidetrack there.
Yep. You know, we just basically did a React video.
We kinda
in the
did.
middle of our stream.
All right, what's next?
Next up, we got one from we just did Joe, right? Yeah, we got Rob.
Rob. Faster bits.
With a GTX 970 and AMD FX 6300.
6300.
All right, what do we got here?
Hey.
Huh. Oh,
All right,
you know
first-
what? It's really clean. Really
First
clean.
impression is super clean.
Cables, obviously.
Immediate follow up is
Ketchup mustard.
ketchup mustard cables.
But you know, if you just got a power supply that had all black cables, they wouldn't necessarily need to be like sleeved or anything. I think for a budget or a system on this caliber, I think just the regular, you know, black wiring, like the ones you have for your GPU, look fine for this. No one's expecting you to have beautifully sleeved cables, professionally done in a system like this. The other thing I'll say though is that I wish the motherboard PCB wasn't brown.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Makes it stand out a bit.
a little bit. But I honestly feel like
the only thing I really want is just a 24-pin extension, and then everything is looking perfect and clean as far as the build itself goes.
Yeah, wouldn't change much.
So really nice.
You're still at that point where like improving your hardware is more important than aesthetics. Thank you
Well
very
done,
much, Rob. And next, finally, we've got Andrew. Andrew with an AMD R5 1600 at 3.8 gigahertz. We've got an ASRock AB350 Pro before motherboard, MSI GTX 980 Ti Armor 2X, and Corsair 75. Okay, what do we got? Okay, ketchup and mustard, obviously. Again, this is one of those systems that's more on the budget side of things, so I would say upgrade your core hardware. I think the Ryzen 1600 is great, as is. The graphics card, I mean, you have a GTX 980 Ti. Actually, you're doing pretty good here. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like, what is this case?
DIY. It's a DIY BG01 case.
Okay,
so
I feel like that's your limiting factor in a sense.
That's the thing that I hate the most out of this build.
Yeah, everything. I'm like looking at your hardware, like, okay, I'm assuming that your CPU or your GPU is crap. No, those are both really good. It's just your case devalues the overall look of your system.
I've had negative experiences with DIY PC in the past, though.
So have I.
So that's to be considered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, guys, forgive me in chat. It's not a budget. I thought it was budget from looking at it. I mean, you would think that it's budget from looking at it, but it's not. It's a budget. It looks like a super budget case, and oftentimes the case alone can make an entire system look like it's pretty cheap.
It's a system where the
actual internals are pretty
majority
good.
of the investment has been made into the parts that make a difference, like
Which completely makes sense.
A 980 Ti, a FlareX kit of 3200 speed memory, which is a very nice pairing for this CPU, and you've got a budget case, a fairly budget power supply,
Super budget.
a fairly budget motherboard. The AB350 Pro 4 is a nice performer in the B350 category, though. It's actually got reasonable power delivery and cooling, so you can get a reasonable overclock out of it, hence the 1600 at 3.8 gigahertz. So yeah, it's just the case. The case is cheap. The power supply is cheap and has ketchup and mustard cables.
I bet those Thermaltake ring fans at your intake are worth more than that entire case.
You're probably right about that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah,
so yeah, go for the case.
You have a very powerful system. There's a couple things that could make it look a little bit cleaner, cable extensions, that kind of thing. But I can definitely appreciate that the money here has been invested in the performance of the system more so than the looks of the system.
Indeed. So thank you very much for everyone who submitted to Pit My PC. We'll be doing this again in the future, so if you didn't get picked this time, don't be too sad. I say we
skip face off.
Yeah, skip face off.
Good idea.
We'll save that for next time. Let's just dive right into some Q&A, guys.
Yay.
Let's see. Where are
Q
we
and
starting
yay.
off? Q and yay.
Q and yayo.
Wait,
Not
I
yay.
forget where the
What?
cutoff is for.
Oh,
here we go.
There were like 3 or 4 before your half starts.
Yeah, we did. Let's see. Did we do R. Clardy? I think there were a couple more before your half. R. Clardy for the $10. Ryzen 5 1500X, ASRock X370. Oh wait, no, we did that one already. Total Rage, did we do that one?
Yes.
We did that too. All right, Tyler Joby, $5. I got an MSI Z370 Gaming Pro Carbon with an i7, 8700K, and a GTX 1080 Founders Edition. Would it be worth getting a third-party card with a bigger cooler or another FE Founders Edition and SLI? Third-party card with a bigger cooler. What does he mean? Oh, just like a different card.
Bigger cooler.
GPU.
Before you did that, I'd rather sell your 1080 Founders Edition and get a 1080 Ti.
Yeah. And then you'd be good. An add-in board partner, custom OEM.
Yeah. I'd rather have a single 1080 Ti
than SLI.
And there's lots of good third-party versions of that than 1080 and SLI.
Yeah. David A. Levy, $10. I upgraded a 6700K dual 980 Ti to 7700K dual 1080 Ti to use the same GA or Gigabyte Z170 G1 motherboard. Being last CPU for this motherboard, when should I upgrade to a new chipset / CPU for Blender workloads and mostly gaming?
Ooh. So you throw that Blender workloads in there and it confuses things. If you're saying mostly gaming, I'd say you're set for probably at least another year or two, give or take, depending on how, cutting edge you want to be and that kind of thing. Throw in Blender workloads though, and I'm like, all right, 7700K, you're fine for that. But there's definitely better available. Yeah. So. Yeah,
depends on how much of an increase you need in performance.
But yeah, I'd say by and large, with your setup, you're totally good for right now. Totally good.
Yeah.
And just sort of see what 2018 brings when it comes to what CPUs are available. And also how significant, how important the rendering those Blender workloads are quickly to you is.
Yeah.
Like if it's not a big deal, if you set them to go like as you go to bed and like you don't worry so much about shaving a few seconds off of the time, then maybe that's also.
But if you want to take it to the next level with the workstation stuff and Blender workloads, I would suggest straying away from mainstream, because the only worthy upgrade, in my opinion, from a 7700K would be going like Threadripper. Get like a 1900X or something.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff we already talked about earlier in the show, like the 8-core potential mainstream platform stuff that might come out next year, could be a good upgrade for you. But yeah, it's really the Blender stuff. How important is that to you to do that faster? And is it going to be worth it investing in a high-end desktop configuration for it? But again, for now, particularly for gaming, you're totally golden. Cheese Whiz!
Cheese Whiz! $5. The graphene balls are likely nanoparticles that have a higher surface area, allowing more coating per volume given greater capacity, etc. I like how we're just like making like nutsack and ball puns, and he's like giving us a really scientific explanation, which makes sense. I mean, balls, I mean, that's why they put, like the shaved shaved ice balls, like hand-carved ice balls inside of like really fancy cocktail drinks, because it actually decreases the amount, or I'm sorry, increases the amount of surface
It's the
area.
maximum amount of surface area to the water surrounding it. So, yeah, there you go. All right, thank you, Cheese Whiz. That sounds reasonable.
Yep.
Fred
Rants,
Rants.
$50. Hey,
Yeah.
Kyle, for finally being a good boy. Wifey Sauce told me you finally took her out to dinner.
Oh,
yes,
that's
I
nice.
did. It was super nice. But there is still the issue about you removing your wedding ring. Punishment for that pending.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
What?
I watched that.
You watched
it
what?
It was hilarious.
I removed my wedding ring?
It was was it that last week or the week before?
On what? When?
Your wedding ring disappeared,
It did?
and you were like, oh my gosh, like there's no way that that this could have happened, whatever, blah blah, that it's gone.
On the on stream?
And then all you had to do was look back in the stream like 20 or 25 minutes earlier, and you're sitting there like, I'm gonna take off my wedding ring, and like whatever, like it's yeah.
I lost my ring on stream? That's what happened?
Yeah, I need to watch the video back
Must have
again.
been blacked out or something weird.
you,
Josh
Fred.
Wallace, thanks Fred, appreciate it,
Probably.
man. Josh Wallace, $5, love the show. You guys also need to move to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Beta.speedtest. Net result. Oh, it's just a link. Last place immune to net neutrality. We also have 10 gig.
Oh, nice.
Okay. We'll
Good
move
old
there.
Chattanooga.
That was on my bucket list. Is to always
Chattanooga choo-choo.
to live in Chattanooga. Sweet. Thanks
you,
for
Josh.
the advice, Josh. Pair A Sloths, $10. I don't usually get to see the show live. Love watching you two. Less of a tech
Thank
question, more of an editing one. Have you heard of Lightworks? What do you use? Also, what are your degrees in? I've never Lightworks. I don't know. Is that an Adobe program? No, I don't think so. We both use Adobe Premiere Pro CC, Creative Cloud. My degree is in multimedia production management, which I guess in some way I am using to this day.
Lightworks is a nonlinear video editor. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, neither have I.
That is interesting. It's been
Give it a
used in
shot.
The Wolf of Wall Street, LA Confidential, Pulp Fiction, Heat, Road to Perdition, Hugo, King's Speech, and many more. I haven't used Lightworks. Most of my experience, as Kyle mentioned, is with Premiere. When I was going through film school, which I did briefly many years ago, I dabbled briefly with Avid. And
Yeah,
then
me
beyond that,
too.
of course, there's Final Cut Pro. Those are the three. Those are kind of the three main ones that I'm familiar with. I mean, then there's the kind of more less expensive kind of entry level.
Vegas Pro
There's like
and
Vegas,
stuff.
and those kind of things. But yeah, Lightworks. It's the first I've heard of it. So
Just get the Premiere Pro. It's like $50 a month, or even less than that, like $30 a month if you're just.
well, Lightworks
per
definitely
application.
seems like it's on the high end. Like, I mean, if it's been used for feature length motion picture production.
Yeah, but maybe they
then-
just. I don't know. I always am skeptical about that sort of thing. And like this was used on this movie. I'm like, okay, but in what capacity?
Pulp Fiction, like.
No, yeah, but I mean, like, okay, we used it to add a special transition or
Okay,
something.
yeah,
Like,
you're
okay,
right,
like
yeah.
how like we used it for like 1% of the movie, but it's still technically counted. Okay, but just the fact that I've never heard of it makes me a little skeptical. I know the big two industry
People in
want
chat
standards.
are saying Lightworks has a free version.
Has a free version.
So,
Might want to
yeah.
check that out if you're on a
Sure.
budget. I just know that the two big industry standards right now are Avid and Adobe Premiere Pro. Final Cut definitely used to be in the running and sort of fallen back after a couple changes to the software and stuff.
Depends who you talk to.
Depends who you talk to, I guess.
Final Cut does have some pretty nice
Good rendering
capabilities when it comes
features.
to taking advantage of Intel QuickSync.
Mm-hmm. Because it encodes real time while you're in the timeline and stuff, rendering, right? Or editing.
So that's pretty.
So it renders.
So when
super
when
quick.
you're rendering in a format that is QuickSync compatible, H.264 or H.265 with newer CPUs,
background.
then it's
encodes.
pretty insanely fast.
Yeah.
If you're not doing those specific codecs that it's hardware designed for, then you're operating at CPU speed.
See, I
so-
feel like Adobe Premiere Pro could easily do that if it just took advantage of QuickSync.
I don't quite understand why Adobe hasn't
Like, why don't they do that?
developed
It
that
has
more.
nothing. It's nothing specific to Apple.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Either way.
Anyway, Chris with the $5 donation says,
Arellano.
my friend is live on Twitch running a PC giveaway. Would be cool to raid him when y'all are done. Coalition Gaming Crew. Either way, you guys rock. Thank you, Chris. We have been getting a few more comments with donations asking us specifically to raid specific people. And while we are not opposed to that, we certainly cannot promise anything. Typically, the raid is chosen by Cell.
Yep, he is the chooser.
And yeah, so that's kind of up
we
to
abandon
him.
all liability. But good luck to your friend either way. That sounds fun. Giveaways are good. At the very least, go ahead and check out Coalition Gaming Crew on Twitch if you're interested in a PC giveaway. Xenos Gamer, $5. No comment. Oh no, sorry, there was a comment. 6700K or 7700K. I have an i5 6500 and a GTX 1070. Wondering which to choose for 144Hz gaming. The 7700K will be faster by a bit.
I would only go for the 6700K if it was significantly reduced in price over the 7700K.
Yeah.
If it's a $20-ish difference, then go for the 7700K. But they're very, very comparable. At the same frequency,
oh yeah,
they're the
almost
same CPU.
Yeah.
Yeah. ZZR Hardy with the $10 Australian. When you guys playing PUBG, or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, so I can stream snipe you. ZZR Hardy, definitely
December 9th.
December 9th, we'll probably play that for at least a little bit. Maybe just the whole time, just 12-hour PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. No, we'll probably mix it up a little bit. Dingo on my 40 with a $10 donation. Is he going to explain to us what his name means?
Doesn't look like it.
Favorite game, Sega Dreamcast, Gundam Side Story, White Dingo Squad, 2000. Favorite movie, Friday.
Oh.
1995, Debo, What You Got on My 40. The Stranded, Seinfeld Homie, 1991, then Counter-Strike 2012 Online. So this is
a mishmash of several different pop culture references that mean something to you, and you mash it all.
Sega Dreamcast Gundam Side Story White Dingo Squad is where Dingo comes from.
And then 2000 favorite movie Friday 1995 Debo What You Got on My 40 is where the on my 40 comes. Debo. Oh, that's from Friday.
Is that what Debo? Is that a line that Debo says?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember Debo.
What you got on my 40? Sounds like something he would say.
Fridays is a lot of fun.
It is.
The sequels. The sequels are so horrible, though.
I've never seen the sequels.
Don't
intentionally.
Don't, they're awful.
The original is great.
Well, I'm glad we have an explanation now. Dingo on my 40. Thank you for that.
All right.
Wyatt P with a $10 donation. Kyle Paul, love both channels and use them entirely to go from 0% PC knowledge to giving my friends build advice.
Nice.
Thanks for great content. Hopefully I can get on Pimp My PC when my build is done.
Submit it.
Send it in, Wyatt.
When it's ready.
Just wait for that proper time on a Tuesday when Kyle tweets.
Yes. Fred Rant, $5. Congrats to Paul for having 43 inches to give his wife.
There we go.
You the man.
Cheers, Fred.
Cheers. Christopher Wolf, $5. i7 at 4.3 gigahertz with an H100i push-pull, knock to a fans. Corsair Cube Case, Maximus 6 Extreme. Can I bit mine with my old 660 Ti for the Win 3G and GTX 1080 at the same time?
You should be able to, from my understanding.
Yeah, they don't need to be all the same GPU, right?
Doesn't need to be the same GPU or anything like that. As long as they're plugged in and powered, you should be able to mine with them just fine.
Yep.
But my hands-on experience with that is limited, so grain of salt.
Do some research.
Of course.
Chris Solis, $10. Big fan of both of your channels. Thank you for the answer on the GTX 970 upgrade.
All right.
You are very welcome.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much,
Hopefully
Chris.
it all works out for you. Yeah. Stephen Hill. What up, Stephen?
Thanks, Steve.
$10 as usual. Thanks for the content, but I actually have a question this time. How do different capture cards cope with ultra-wide, and does refresh rate take a hit with different configurations?
Your refresh rate will be limited by the capture card because capture cards are typically limited to a specific amount of bandwidth, which is going to be resolution times frame rate.
Ultra-wide's not supported by most capture cards.
My ultra-wide experience has been nil. I've had zero success in taking like a 3440 by 1440 signal, even with a 4K capture card, which should have the resolution bandwidth capability to handle it. So it might be a software issue, might be otherwise.
I think it's probably because there aren't many sources online where you can watch full widescreen or ultra wide content. Yeah. So there haven't been many companies or manufacturers who have actually manufactured capture cards capable of that sort of resolution. So.
I've only tried a couple though, so I'm sure it's something that is possible, and maybe something that, like Elgato now has a 4K 60 capture card that they've just recently come out, which I've been kind of curious about. So you could see it happening, but it would probably need to be pushed by one of the capture card manufacturers to enable that compatibility for that resolution.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Steven. Zachary Hummel, $50. Damn, dude. Does G-Sync lower GPU's FPS output as well as change my screen's refresh rate, or is something wrong? 1700X at 3.9 GHz with the SLI GTX 1080 Ti, with an X34 Predator as the main and 1440p FreeSync monitor set up vertically, getting under 100 FPS on the X34. Does G-Sync lower GPU's FPS output?
It shouldn't.
No.
That's not how it's supposed to work.
No, it has no influence on that. As well as change my screen's refresh rate. Or is something wrong? Okay, did you enable the 100 Hertz overclocking feature within the OSD of your monitor? Because you can enable G-Sync within NVIDIA Control Panel via the OS, but you also have to enable 100 Hertz with the OSD.
Technically, it isn't overclocked with the X34, so that could be if the monitor is set to a max refresh rate of, say, 80 Hertz or 90 Hertz, then that's what your G-Sync is going to cap out at. Beyond that, if you're hitting close to 100, if you're getting like 97, 98, then that's just sort of a little bit of fall off that happens, so that wouldn't be unexpected. It would only be if you're getting significantly less than 100.
And also just triple check that SLI is enabled.
Yeah.
You might be like, why am I only getting 60 FPS? Like, your refresh rate could still be 100. Your refresh rate could still be 100, but your FPS might be lower, or, unless G-Sync's enabled or something like that. Yeah, give that a shot. Dingo on my 40 again. Dingo on my 40 again. $5. Dingo. I'd like to thank you guys for inspiring my $1,000 build. I'm extremely satisfied how it turned out. You guys are entertaining and fun. Keep on trucking.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats on your build.
We will.
We shall.
We definitely will.
Buffalo Warrior 7, $5.55. Hope you guys, hope you pimped my PC tonight. Enjoying a Dogfish Saison du Boeuf. Do either of you have anything invested in any cryptocurrency, stocks, mutual funds? No.
I have a 401k.
I have a 401k.
I don't have any cryptocurrency stuff going on.
No.
Never really delved into that.
It's I don't have time for that sort of thing.
Dave Nunez
for the 8 Canadiers. Fan recommendations for push-pull on a Celsius S36, Venturi, silent, or dynamic. Will I need a fan controller as well in a define S case?
It would depend mostly on your motherboard,
nice.
whether or not you need a controller, and if you're able to connect them all up to that. I'd say go for the Venturi.
Venturis are high quality. Get the static pressure ones.
Yeah.
The SPs. And a fan controller, I mean, it's up to you. You could wire them straight to your motherboard to save some money.
I typically will only go for a fan controller if necessary. If you can wire everything up to your motherboard, especially if it's a decent motherboard with good fan controls, then you're fine there.
Yeah.
Jujubees, $10.
Go ahead.
To your last comment, yes, Ryzen 1200 ASRock AB350 Mini ITX, the C7 cooler from CryoRig, I believe. The G-Skill 8GB single stick, Node 202, 1TB, 2.5-inch hard drive, and reusing an old 560 GPU. Using everything I learned from your vids. Thank you.
This must be the $400 build that was mentioned earlier. That's a solid. Yeah. So, yeah, everything looks pretty well balanced.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nice. Rob Cribb, 15 Argentinians. I sent you the taxation is theft hat. Ah! Finally, you're a champ for wearing it all episode. Yep.
You did.
It's probably the only time I'll ever wear it too. I think it's still like in the other room.
I saw it over
chilling
there.
Just chilling on the board. No one's picked it up yet. I'm just waiting for someone to steal it. Thank you, Rob. Christopher Wolf, $5. Been watching you all before Newegg. Paul, more builds, please. Kyle, more videos with your wifey sauce, please. This $5 is so you can buy her a coffee. Coffee?
Coffee? I don't know.
Oh, coffee?
I have no idea what that means. But thank you. I have more builds. I keep doing builds.
We all have.
Constantly do builds.
Yep. Cheese Whiz, $50. Damn, dude. Paul, how would you position the internet being essential in the 21st century to the average American, to people who just don't get that? Any resource?
Cheese Whiz, I would compare it to how information has been disseminated to the populace historically. The thing I like to compare it to, and I know this is a little out there, but like, go back to the way the clergy acted in like medieval times, right?
They were bitches.
Which is that the clergy had access to the Bible, and they were the only ones who knew how to read, and they, in a lot of situations, actively didn't want the rest of the population to be able to read, because that gave them the power and the authority of being the sole interpreters of the Bible. I sort of take it like that. Like, I know that might be a little bit of an extreme example, but like the way most people get their information right now is from the internet. Granted, there's TV and that kind of thing, but that's becoming less popular. Internet is becoming more popular. And we're coming to the transition point where your TV is going to be provided over the internet too. The internet is just a data connection to the internet that has all the data on it. So if you want to be able to access all of that equally, so you can look at whatever sites you want to read up on about whatever subjects, then it needs to have equal access.
Scared me.
Beer was empty, so everything was fine.
Bottle scared me now.
Yeah, but anyway, that's... I don't know if that helps, but...
Do you have did you get sign up for YouTube TV yet?
I don't. Maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
Not sure.
I'm on the free trial right now.
I have to pee really bad. So
me too.
It's hard to think.
All right, let's roll out. Cody Music.
Cody.
$5. I have a 2600K overclocked to 4.8 gigahertz. About to upgrade my GPU, wanting a 1070 Ti. Will I have bottlenecking issues with the 2600K and the 1070 Ti? Good job, guys. Yes, there will be some bottlenecking depending on the applications or games that you're playing, but I don't think it's to the point where you'll be absolutely wasting your money on a card like that. I would, however, consider upgrading your CPU and platform
to eventually upgrade your 2600K.
Within the next year or so, I would start looking at options to buying into either a new Ryzen platform or perhaps Coffee Lake or whatever 9th generation has around the corner. And you can get pretty good money for whatever motherboard, definitely for the CPU and the motherboard. I think a 2600K and whatever Z68 chipset motherboard you have with that right now could be pretty lucrative. So sell that shit, put it on eBay, and put that towards a new Ryzen system or a new Intel system. I think you'll be just fine. Scott Dilbeck, $6.66. Do you think an i5-3570 non-K is bottlenecking a Strix? A lot of bottlenecking questions tonight. A Strix RX 580 8GB. No, I don't think so. Also, crossfire it with a 480 8GB on certain titles that scale well for 4K. Yes, of course, you could crossfire it with a 480 if you wanted to in certain titles that scale well for 4K. That is an option. I always do recommend, if you have the option to get a single fast GPU over a multi-GPU setup that ensures that you're going to get the performance that that card can deliver, whereas multi-GPU scaling is a little bit iffy depending on the title. If you are playing a game or plan to play a game that you know for certain, scales really well with, say, a crossfire configuration, then by all means, go for it. But the other consideration that you have to consider is, additional heat, more power that's being, do you need to now upgrade your power supply because you're adding an additional video card to the equation? Do you need to upgrade your fans now that you're generating more heat? Or upgrade your CPU cooler because now it's being, encumbered by the heat that's being put off by these two GPUs. Things like that. SLI, Crossfire, they add certain complications that oftentimes, in my opinion, don't outweigh the performance that you would otherwise see from that type of scaling. But every situation's a little bit different. So good luck on that. Thank you very much, Scott, once again. Channing Williams, not Tatum. It's not that popular of a show yet. $5. Paul equals Professor Honeydew from the Muppets. Professor Honeydew from the Muppets. I will be the judge of this. Yeah, I kind of see it. I kind of see he's got a very round head, very round face, got the glasses. No soul patch though, so that is completely false. It was a good call, though. It was very, 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 very close. Loic Bellinger. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. 10 Canadiers. Is an 8700K, is it automatically overclockable to 5 gigahertz? I don't know what you mean by automatically overclockable. Mine go to 4.9 really easy, but it refuses to go higher without stability issues. It can be the fault of cooling. Yeah, it could be the fault of cooling. You might need a better cooler to hit 5 gigahertz. Or you might have just got a CPU that has not succeeded in the silicon lottery as much as you hoped it would. And because of that, maybe it just doesn't hit 5 gigahertz reliably. Silicon Lottery has a lot to do with just the overall overclockability of CPUs. So it's not necessarily that your cooling sucks. Maybe you just don't have the silicon prowess on your particular chip to hit that 5 gigahertz. But either way, play around with it, see what happens. Colby Young, $5, GPU upgrade for Ryzen 1600X for 1440. I would imagine that you're meaning 1440p. GPU upgrade for 1600X. I've done a video on this to pair, like, what GPU would you pair with the 1600X? No. That was, I think it was Ryzen 3. Never mind. 1600X, I mean, you can do GTX 1070. I would say GTX 1070, 1070 Ti.
1070.
1070. 1070 is best bang for the buck still. And if you have a 1600X, you probably don't want to spend a lot of money on a GPU.
1070.
1070. I agree with Paul. Fred Rant, $10. Any thoughts on the Alienware 34 curved gaming G-Sync monitor? I have not even seen anything about that.
Neither have I.
I would not know.
I hope it's not too expensive.
There
have been 34-inch curved gaming G-Sync monitors for the past year or two. They're typically well above $1,000. So if Alienware can somehow make one that costs less than that, then I'm happy. If not, it's probably using the exact same panel as the other manufacturers like Acer and whatever, and it probably is the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Rob Crib 5, Argentinians, or Australians, sorry, waiting for someone to steal it, quote unquote, waiting for someone to steal it. Maybe it'll get taxed. What was he talking about there?
Government.
Government. Yeah, government stuff. Government. I have nothing to contribute there. Government sucks. Johnson shoutouts!
Johnson's.
Get your phone out! Look it up! Christopher! Hey, CCM, what up, brother? Thank you very much for picking up a Bitwit Circle logo D.
Double Johnson, Chris!
Double Johnson!
Double Johnson, Chris, for you. Thank you so much. I also got a decal.
We've also got one from Nick from Palo Pinto, Texas. Beware of Bottlenecks Cardinal T-shirt, CPU cooler shirt, Bitwit Circle and a logo. Jeez.
Is this Nick W?
This is Nick W.
Nick W, get the Double Johnson.
Yeah.
He also got a keycap.
Yeah.
A keycap from me.
Nice.
Also a Johnson for... Wait, where did that go?
Aaron. Beware Bottleneck shirt. Johnson to you, Aaron.
Brett B from Oklahoma got the keycap, a couple keycaps, and the baseball cap. Thank you, and Johnson.
Thank you very much, sir. And Andrew Johnson to you, sir, for picking up a fidget spinner.
Nick D from Texas gets Johnson, the keycap, thumb screw, T-shirt, and the 20-ounce pub glass. Sorry, what else did you?
He also bought 2 other things, which I don't see now. But yes, thank you for buying 3 things from the store. Thank you very much,
Excellent.
sir. Anthony for picking up a Biosplasher shirt and a Beware of Bottleneck shirt.
Aaron, wait, did you have an Aaron just now?
Aaron
K.
From Anthony. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Aaron K from California.
Andrew.
4 thumb screw key. 4 thumb screw keycaps.
Aaron K.
Aaron K. Yes.
Aaron K. Yeah.
This is Double Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh. Rhonda S. from my hometown in Colorado.
Your hometown's Colorado?
California.
Did you say Colorado?
I don't know what I said.
What the hell's Colorado?
I don't know what I said. It's a Rhonda S. though.
Incestuous
from the town I grew up here in California and SoCal. Got the Zero Insertion Force black T-shirt. Thank you very much, Rhonda.
Hey. And that's all. Does that conclude?
Go North Orange County.
Does that conclude?
Matthew B gets Johnson. Matthew B from where is that? That's Canada. What's NL in Canada?
New Lurkshire.
New
Leixen.
Las Vegas. New NL. No, I should.
New.
What province is NL in Canada?
New Lumberg.
Newfoundland. Right?
That's NF, not NL.
Newfoundland. No, that's right. It's Newfoundland.
I thought you said NL.
NL. Newfoundland. The land. That's what the L. Newfoundland.
Oh, so Newfound is the first part?
Yes, Newfoundland. Newfound land.
I thought it was...
They got there and like, hey, this is new land. We just found it. What should we call it? Like, Newfoundland. It's brilliant.
I always thought it was New Finland.
That's how it's pronounced typically. Newfoundland.
Okay. That should be NF, not NL.
Potentially. We'll leave that up to Canada.
What do I need to do to change that?
Anyway.
What are the steps I need to take?
Thank you, Matthew.
Change that.
Thank you, Matthew.
God.
Kyle is gonna change how your
place is whatever the fuck. We don't even know what it is. What even? Where do you even live?
One last Johnson for Patrick from Ontario, also in Canada. Thank you to our Canadian viewers. You guys are awesome and probably super friendly. Super friendly.
Super duper.
He got the thumbscrew keycap as well. All right, that's all my Johnsons.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Awesome Hardware, guys. It's always so fun chatting with you all and
do we have a raid?
And just hanging out. We do have a Twitch raid. This is going to be for Goobers. Goobers 515. Goobers 515. GOOBERS 515. We will be hosting him from our channel as well, so you can sit tight if you don't want to type that in yourself.
If you're watching live, go over there.
Yep.
Twitch.tv/Goobers515.
Yep.
Tell them we sent you.
Yep.
And that it's a Twitch raid and it's badass.
Indeed. Yeah, raid the shit out of them, as you always do, because we just love seeing the reactions fire up. It's awesome. Thank you very much to our friend and moderator, Cell Processing.
Thank you, Sal.
And Spider-Fan, if he was here. Thank you all for watching. We will be back next week, same time, same place. Be sure to also do timestamps in the comments if you see your thing. I really appreciate it. And we will be seeing you guys very shortly.
Thanks,
Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.